and if you put it there, he will see anyway. And you should make sure that you should not just put these offerings haphazardly, but you should do it with great love and care, knowing that the deity is a person, Krishna is a person, and he will actually taste each and every remnant. So if you just pile up one over the other, then it is very impersonal. So every time he comes, he always gives certain instructions, certain insights, by which the quality of our service improves tremendously. In fact, Govind Prabhu was saying that a couple of years ago, when Maharaj was traveling to Belgaum, on the same flight, the entire Indian cricket team was also there. And then at Belgaum airport, the devotees had come in large numbers, around 500 to 700 devotees had come with mridang, kartal, everything to receive Maharaj. So when the plane landed at Belgaum airport, the first to get down was the Indian cricket team, and the huge kirtan was going out outside. And the cricket team thought that it is for them. So as each and every member started walking out expecting the garland, they received none. And they were getting bewildered. Why we are not being received? So all of them left. And then finally Maharaj came out. And all the devotees offered their flower garlands, and they had a huge kirtan receiving and welcoming Maharaj. So Govind Prabhu was saying that when a devotee goes, when a pure devotee visits, all the devotees who are there to receive him become so much jubilant and ecstatic and joyful, because they understand that here is a pure representative of Krishna who is giving his life for our upliftment. And we can see that ultimately material fame and infamy keep changing. The Indian cricket team was so famous, but now we see that they have been caught in match fixing. But Radhanath Maharaj has remained fixed in giving the whole world the matchless gift of Krishna consciousness. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj ki.
Accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you, Maharaj. With each passing year, unfortunately for me, I have to say on this most auspicious occasion, volumes should be written and spoken about your most wonderful qualities. But I have realized that even to glorify one so deserving of praise, there should be at least a trace of goodness in me, a speck of sincerity, to make it meaningful. Nevertheless, worthless as it may seem coming from me, I glorify you and offer you my dandavat over and over again for who you are, what you are doing to bring us back, guiding us, encouraging us, cheating us, coaxing us, goading us back, doing whatever it takes to get us back, firmly, surely, steadily, lovingly, gently urging us back on the path Srila Prabhupada and all the previous acharyas have progressively made easier to tread back home to Godhead. May Krishna always protect you, or we will be lost. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
My dear Srila Radhanath Maharaj, all these wonderful devotees have been relating their very intimate experiences with you. And I am like a black crow with envy in my heart. But since you have been so kind to me, as you always say, you remembered the very sweet days of preaching in Singapore. At one time you told me that it brought tears to your eyes to see the love and the warmth and hospitality of the Singapore Indians, the businessmen. I remember when you first came to Singapore, you were practically an unknown person. You were not like the other world famous spiritual leaders from other organizations. But when these people saw you, when they heard you speak, they immediately became surcharged. They became completely fascinated. They are so used to touching the feet and saying so many sentimental things about other so-called spiritual leaders. But when they heard you simply speak the simple message of the Bhagavad Gita with such purity and love within your heart, it was something which is very, very rare. And this is a very important point, because a person who is a pure servant of the Lord, a person who is in a mood of service, who has no false identities, that personality can attract the living entity in any condition of life, whatever body that living entity may be in. I remember it was very difficult for me to get appointments with businessmen, but after they had met you, these same businessmen were running after me. They were phoning me up because they could understand I was your secretary in Singapore. So everyone was phoning me up and saying, Pandit ji, can we invite Maharaj over, Swamiji over to our house for lunch or dinner, or can we take him out for lunch? And this is a very, very important point, because it shows that what is the greatest wealth. These people are all multi-millionaires. They're worth hundreds of dollars in millions. And yet, they felt that there was something in their life which they were missing. And that is what you have, Maharaj. You have this simple, pure love of Krishna, his devotees, and your Guru Maharaj within your heart. Another confirmation of the fact which all of us feel came from this spiritual personality. His name is Dada J.P. Vaswani. And this is a very important incident, because he really knows nothing much about Krishna consciousness, except that he knows a little about a few devotees in the movement. At that time, we were invited for the Meatless Day celebrations, which was on the 25th of November. And I was very happy to be able to take some photographs of Radhanath Maharaj for the pleasure of the devotees. And I remember this scene where after the satsang, this gentleman who had invited us to come, he had introduced you to Dada J.P. Vaswani. And I was just watching that exchange, because he himself is a very intense person. I remember I had taken 7 photographs in sequence, and he was holding Radhanath Maharaj's hands very intensely, pulling Radhanath Maharaj towards him, looking him very deeply in the eyes. He was saying different things to him. And then suddenly, I remember he caught hold of Radhanath Maharaj's hands and put them on his head, and then he touched Radhanath Maharaj's feet. And when Radhanath Maharaj went to touch his feet, he ran away. He was at that time, I think, about 78 years old. And Maharaj was only about 42 years old. Yeah, a big age difference. So when I asked Maharaj what they were talking about, because it was a very interesting pastime. So when he saw Radhanath Maharaj, he caught Radhanath Maharaj's hands very closely and started pulling them towards him and looking very deeply in the eyes. And these are his words, what he said, that I don't know why, but I am seeing the slim, ascetic, beautiful figure of Lord Chaitanya in you. That was a very, very important thing for a leader to say, who really does not know much about the principles of Bhakti Yoga, to the details that, we are trained up in ISKCON. But then, because he could see the amount of devotion and service in the heart of Radhanath Maharaj, he immediately said, is there anything, Maharaj asked him, is there any service I can do for you? So at that time, he pulled Radhanath Maharaj's hands closer and put them over his head and said, please give me your blessings. And at that time, he touched Maharaj's feet. And after he touched Maharaj's feet, Maharaj told me that when he tried to touch his feet, the man moved away. That was a very touching incident, because this shows that in spiritual organizations, everyone worships one person. But when a devotee who is very pure in heart, who has no other designation, like all of you have been saying, as that of a humble servant, that personality can attract the heart of even very, very powerful spiritual men from any other organization. And that means that such a personality is carrying the Supreme Lord within his heart, and Krishna means all attractive. The next day, when we were walking around Bushi Dam, at that time, as you know, in 1992, by the transcendental arrangement of the Lord, Maharaj had had a slight fall in a culvert just next to Seva Kunj. So at that time he was walking with the walking stick. So Maharaj and myself were walking a little slowly because of his foot. And this Dada J.P. Vaswani was walking very fast up and down with his followers. So then he came up to Radhanath Maharaj and he asked him, what has happened to your foot? Why you are carrying a stick? So Maharaj said that, you know, this is my nature. I am such a fallen person that actually I fell into a sewage culvert. That is my position in this world. So even though this man is not as I said, trained up in the principles of Vaishnavism, you can see how Krishna spoke through him. He made some very astonishing words. And he said that actually you are not in that culvert of sewage. We are still in there. You have come out of it. This was something that was very astonishing. And then again he looked at Radhanath Maharaj and he said that I am reflector guru. But then he pointed at him and he said, but you are radiator guru. So you can see here, like all of you have said, especially Satyanandan Maharaj has said, that by the simplicity and the purity and the devotion of someone who has no other desire than to serve and who is completely satisfied wanting to serve, that all attractive quality of his is all pervading. It can attract the hearts of all living entities in this world. There are one or two small incidents also which are a little humorous. I remember once after Maharaj was giving a lecture at Krishna Chandra Prabhu's house, one very serious gentleman with specs looked at him and asked him, what should we call you? How should we address you? So Maharaj looked at him very jokingly and laughed. And then he said that my Guru Maharaj used to say that you can call me anything you want, but please don't call me late for prasadam. And in the good old days in Juhu, when Maharaj would come, at that time, somehow Maharaj would catch me. He would say, come, let us go for a walk on Juhu beach, let us do japa. And like that it would be my good fortune to be able to chant with him, to associate with him. And what I found about Srila Radhanath Maharaj, that he is such a sweet, simple person that it is very easy to become attached and to love him. This is actually the special quality of a personality who is now playing the role of a spiritual master. But still, like Prahlad Maharaj says, that you can never understand the activities of a Vaishnava, especially a first-class preacher. I remember Maharaj used to go to Pakistan to preach there. So our department had a small auto rickshaw, and at that time Maharaj had his special outfit for preaching in Pakistan. So that outfit he would carry in a small bag which he would keep over his shoulder. So we were driving to the airport, Maharaj was in his sannyas outfit. Then just as we were nearing the airport, about 10 minutes, suddenly Maharaj just started changing in the auto rickshaw. He did it so nicely, his jeans, he put on his turtleneck, his cap. And of course, we shouldn't talk like this about the spiritual master, but that is not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is that this shows that how a personality who is in the renounced order of life, just for the sake of preaching in a country where they will not accept saffron, how he was ready to change in this auto rickshaw without any inhibitions. It was changing, it was so smooth, it was so graceful, it was a manifestation of his dedication to his spiritual master. To wear any dress, to act in any way, just to fulfill the desire of his spiritual master to preach in a Muslim country. So then Maharaj dressed, he got out of the auto rickshaw, he went, he got his flight, and he just said, you come back on Thursday at so and so time, I'll be coming back by another flight. And at that time, as you can see, even though Radhanath Maharaj may be in another outfit, but like I said, the clothes don't make the man. It is the heart that makes the man. And even in Malaysia, I remember when Maharaj came to visit us, just by seeing him from a distance, even though he was in his other civilian clothes, just by seeing him from a distance, we immediately said, this is Radhanath Maharaj. The way he walks, his aura, the whole atmosphere of serenity that surrounds his personality. So when Maharaj came back into the auto rickshaw, just as we were leaving the airport, and as we were nearing the temple again, he changed back into his sannyas outfit. This is not something that is a mundane activity, but this is a very exalted activity which shows that how a devotee with purity in his heart, a pure devotee, is not attached to any particular dress. He is only attached to the garb of humility, the garb of enthusiasm, the garb of service. And he has only one desire, to help the conditioned fallen souls to advance in Krishna consciousness. Maharaj, you are a very special person, and we all feel that about you as we associate with you more and more. We always feel you are a very special person, the way you eat, the way you dance, the way you speak, the way you associate, the way you do everything. So on this most auspicious 50th appearance day of yours, we are simply begging of you, at least myself, please at least give us a brief thought, bestow a small drop of your mercy, so that we can at least have some engagement as your humble service. As your humble servant. If not as your servant, then as the servant of the servant of the servant of your servant. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Damodar Pandit Prabhu. Now, before Akur Prabhu begins, I would like to request Murlidhar Prabhu, please be ready.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I have, Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. I have certain experiences with Maharaj which I didn't really spoke to anyone these many years. And these experiences are so strong and so vivid that I can't forget them. I feel I spoke to one or two devotees But today I feel like I should, relate them to you for your benefit. Once from my office, I phoned to the temple asking for Maharaj's program, and I was told that Maharaj is sick last 2 days. So I felt very sad. I felt like, what sort of disciple am I? I even do not know that my Guru is ill, and I do not care for him. So I immediately went to the temple. But in the temple I was told nobody is allowed to go into the room of Maharaj. I was feeling like, I was in dual role. I felt like I'm a doctor, and second, I am his disciple. I must know what is happening to my Guru. So I was moving around the room of Maharaj, trying to at least get one glimpse of him. I was sort of becoming restless. But I was told, Prabhu, no entry, and nobody enters in the room. It's strict. So in that restlessness, I went to the other side where there is a window. That window was, there was either curtain or some paper was stuck to the window, but there was a small hole remaining. Actually, nobody should peep through such holes, but I was really restless and I just peeped through the hole. And I saw Maharaj lying on the mat. Someone was reading Chaitanya Charitamrita to him. Maharaj was lying there, his eyes closed. And when I looked at him, I felt like in my mind, Maharaj, somehow or other you gave me your darshan. But you are not looking at me. It just thought came to my mind. I said, Maharaj, you gave me your darshan, but you are not looking at me. And the moment thought ended, Maharaj opened his eyes, looked right at the window. And I realized he is looking at me, but the hole was very small. Then second thought that came to my mind was, now since you have looked at me, please let me in. So I came to the door, opened the door little. There was one brahmachari inside. Said, no. And the door was closed. After a moment, door was again opened and the brahmachari said, come inside. So I went in. I offered my obeisances and I asked Maharaj, what is happening to you, Maharaj? He said, I am getting headache, I am getting body ache, I am getting too much nausea. And then he sat up and he took some bottle and he was trying to apply some oil to his forehead. When I was looking, I felt like we are 3-4 disciples of his sitting here. And he's getting headache, he's trying to apply some oil to his head. And we are dumb, we are not asking him, can we do this? If he only permits, I will surely be very happy to apply that oil to his head. And immediately he looked at me. This is what, nothing emotional, this is what happened to me. He looked at me and said, Akrur Prabhu, you want to apply this oil to my head? I said, yes, Maharaj. Then he said, will you like me to be sitting or lie down? I said, Maharaj, better if you lie down. So he laid down, I started applying oil. His skin was so silky, very, very, very thin. I got really frightened. If I put little pressure, the skin might give way. So I was very careful. When I was giving massage to his head, I thought, what if Maharaj permits me to give massage to whole of his body? Because he said his body is aching. What if he permits that? And then he said, do you want to give massage to my body? I said, yes, Maharaj. Go ahead. Where do you want to start from? So I used to give massage to my father when I was a child. I used to start from the feet of my father. I said, Maharaj, I will start from your feet. So he said, go ahead. So I started giving massage from his feet. This went on for something like 40 minutes and I was sweating. When I was sweating, I remembered the disciples of Prabhupada giving massage to Prabhupada in the morning, and when somebody dropped that sweat on the body of Prabhupada, Prabhupada used to become angry. I thought that. And I was trying to avoid a drop of sweat falling on his body. But unfortunately, one fell on his body. And sure enough, he looked at me, stared like this, and I realized this means it. So I tied my handkerchief to my head and started giving massage. Must be something like for an hour I gave massage. I had come straight from the temple. By that time it was something like 10 o'clock in the night. And suddenly a thought came, I have not informed my wife in the house that I am in the temple. Probably she must be worried. And Maharaj said, this is too late. Anang Manjari must be worried about you. You should go home. So I said, okay Maharaj, thank you very much. So I realized, and I also got frightened, that every thought that comes in my mind, my Guru Maharaj understands. So better when I come close to him, I should have sober thoughts. Once after Sunday program, he was sitting on Vyasasan. Some brahmachari said, these people are troubling Guru Maharaj very much. Now even after 4 o'clock, it becomes too late for him to take prasad. So can you get rid of them early and free Maharaj for prasad? An old lady came, he was sitting right in front of Maharaj, was asking some simple questions. I thought like, why this old lady is bothering Maharaj for such simple questions? I can answer those questions. Why she is asking to Maharaj? And Maharaj immediately looked at the old lady and said, you can ask these questions to him. I felt so much sorry about it. I felt like, no, I made a big mistake. I looked at Maharaj and said, sorry Maharaj. So, when Vedavyas saw his Guru Maharaj coming when he was totally bewildered, and when Narad Muni came, Vedavyas Maharaj prayed to his Guru Maharaj. He said, you know what my heart is. Please diagnose what is disease in my heart and please treat that. So on this very auspicious day, Maharaj, I have the same prayer at your lotus feet. You know what is disease in my heart. And you are the best available cardiac surgeon. Please take me seriously. It's a serious disease. Please use your instruments. Do whatever surgery you want. Give paka anesthesia so that I don't struggle. And put me at your lotus feet for the eternity and in the service of the glorious mission that Srila Prabhupada and Gauranga Mahaprabhu have started in this world. Hare Krishna.
Humble obeisances at your lotus feet. In my early years in Krishna consciousness, when I used to hear your lectures, I always used to feel that I should be asking questions after the class. And as Radha Gopinath Prabhu said that when he was asking questions, you just told him after the lecture that you should ask questions which is only meant for question of life and death. So something like this. During one incident in your lecture, you just mentioned about how Krishna makes the planets float in the space and how Krishna is doing so many wonderful things. So I, out of my pride, I just asked you one question. I said, Maharaj, why is it that the planets are floating in the space in this elliptical way? So I was waiting for an answer from you. And you looked at me and you said, that's because Krishna wants to show you what he can do, you cannot do. So when I heard this from you, I was, feeling completely devastated. Then I really understood that this is the thing one should really approach in a mood by which one receives or asks a question which is really meant for understanding the real goal of life. And later on, Maharaj, I still remember that how much love and care and affection you are giving to us. And one such incident was that before marriage, when Radharani was sick, you came to the hospital and you just told her, what do you want? I can do anything for you. And we never expected such a thing from you also. And we were shocked when we heard this. It was late in the evening at around 7 o'clock. And that time you said, I am ready to give you anything. You tell me what you want. So we said, Maharaj, we don't know anything. So Maharaj said, you like halwa? So Radharani said, yes. So then he said, I'll make for you. So you went home, you went to the temple, and you along with Govind Prabhu went to the kitchen and you made such a nice halwa with lot of dry fruits in that. Govind Prabhu was saying that he almost emptied all the bottles of dry fruits, and you got it to the hospital. So this was really very touching, Maharaj, for us. And also after the marriage, just initial years, 1992-93, we never expected you to come home, and then whenever you used to come to Bombay, you used to always tell us that, when should I come to your house? I want to meet the medical students. And that time, the Science Preaching Center, the college preaching center, medical preaching center, which Devamrit Prabhu was conducting, was a fledgling center, very small. And you wanted to give your mercy to them. And you used to ask us, when should I come and meet the students? And we used to be always very anxious to have it. And then every time you came to Bombay, you had one preaching program just for the medical students at our house. And through that preaching program, Maharaj, so many wonderful souls have come. Prem Manjari Mataji, Leela Manjari Mataji, Ras Manjari Mataji, they are all in the hospital right now. Also Madhvacharya Prabhu, who is right now the Brahmachari. And now, when I remember those days, those moments really cherish my heart. And when you came last time, you were remembering also where Madhvacharya Prabhu was sitting and listening, and where Leela Manjari Mataji was sitting and listening, where Draupadi Mataji was sitting and listening. And when I remember those moments, it brings joy to my heart. Of course, right now you're so busy, very less time you have. But and one thing I would like just to express, that I have my clinic in my house itself, and I wanted to shift this clinic out into that hall where the preaching was going on. And some or the other, I was wondering, I am making plans to take it out and it's not happening. So I don't know why. Maybe that room is still there, hall is still there, and I am just hoping that some more such preaching programs can be taking place, because after you conducted these preaching programs, the medical students, that's where from that same place the science preaching program started. In a very small way, where 20-25 people were coming, and Radha Gopinath Prabhu used to conduct in that same place. And now this science preaching center has become almost a big center where about 150 people are coming, and now we have shifted out to a new hall. So, Maharaj, your vision is something which, I could not understand. And I just only am praying that, that some or the other, I always remain under your shelter, and I beg you to make your vision as my goal of life, and that I can be of some service to you and your dedicated servants in my whatever capacity I can. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
We have to call it a day. I'm very sorry. For one thing is, we wanted to make this program as inspiring as possible, and we took feedback from the devotees. and we sort of experimented with what will happen if people speak extempore. And I do pujari work in the morning, and for my business I do painting outside. Am I a Brahmana because I do puja, or am I Sudra because I paint? So Maharaj in a council meeting said, for us Varnashram means every member of Radha Gopinath's community works in a spirit of a servant of each other. This is a parade. All the members of these components will come marching in, and I would like our Dwarkadish Prabhu, who is the brain behind this program, to, as the devotees come in, please be seated and thoroughly enjoy this movement, this program as they all come in. I'll be reading out Srila Prabhupada's instruction on this particular aspect, and our music team should give a sort of musical accompaniment of a marching sort of music. So this is the first one to come in, is the Bal Utsav. Srila Prabhupada says, child is the father of man. So the basic principle of any type of life is to instruct the children from the very beginning in Krishna consciousness. Children grow to be the topmost leaders of human society.
Srila Prabhupada repeatedly urged his greatest disciples to raise children in Krishna consciousness from early childhood. Shastras reveal through the illustrious examples of Maharaj Parikshit, Jiva Goswami and his divine grace Srila Prabhupada himself, how the careful nurturing of Krishna consciousness from early childhood later flowers into dynamic Krishna consciousness in later years. It is said, all spiritual movements die a natural death if they do not train the forthcoming generation in the science which they have themselves nurtured. So we are very proud to see how these wonderful children of Radha Gopinath are our future for the Sankirtan movement to last for the next 10,000 years.
The next to march in are the IYF boys, followed by the IYF girls. Sorry, Gurukul. Gurukul boys, Gurukul. Srila Prabhupada said, Gurukul is our most important project. If the children are given a Krishna conscious education from early childhood, then this is great hope for the future of the world.
Srila Prabhupada condemned the current atheistic system of education and compared it to sending students to a spiritual slaughterhouse in the form of big universities and colleges. As a viable substitute, he introduced the Krishna consciousness Gurukul system of education, where children would be trained in the regular subjects as well as in the science of Krishna consciousness and the loving atmosphere. At Sri Radha Gopinath temple, we have Srila Prabhupada's mercy successfully transforming our orphanage into a Gurukul, whereby we find that some of the senior Gurukulis have now become head pujaris at the Pune and the Radha Gopinath temple.
The next to march in are the IYF boys, followed by the IYF girls. Srila Prabhupada said, we have enough of technological and other types of educational institutions, but perhaps there is none where actual Brahmanas and Vaishnavas are produced. So, We will have to establish an educational institution for that purpose.
Srila Prabhupada said the future of ISKCON was in the colleges. Srila Prabhupada had a magnetic influence on the youth of America who joined ISKCON in the thousands in the late 60s and early 70s. Catch them young, it is said, is a very common business strategy. But ISKCON movement has broken the myth held earlier that spiritual life is only for those who are retired from active material life. This is why ISKCON is such a dynamic movement. ISKCON Youth Forum is one of the bases of future preachings in our country. The youth girls. One important reason why Arjuna was not fighting at Kurukshetra was that it would bring about contamination of human folk. And today's youth, contaminated, who have been contaminated by the rapidly degenerating values and the upcoming of unrestricted lifestyles. Srila Prabhupada very much wanted the young girls to be trained by senior devotees so that they would imbibe healthy feminine qualities which brings about stable household life and Krishna consciousness progeny. I boys, girls, ki!
The next to march in is the Govardhan farm. Srila Prabhupada used to say, the rascal leaders say it is primitive to remain on the farm, but to do business in the city and become a rogue and rascal, that is advanced. They have dog race, horse race, gambling, Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, all unnecessary. This simple life is very nice. Simple village life saves time for other engagements like chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Another of Srila Prabhupada's unique contributions for the basic physical survival of the worldwide body of devotees is farm communities. The situation in Kali Yuga is so unpredictably inflammable that a war could break out at any moment. Just like Krishna sheltered the Brijvasis from the atrocities of the angry Indra, we at Shri Radha Gopinath know for certain that if there is a disaster which breaks out in the form of bombs on Bombay, we know where to turn to for Krishna consciousness, organic prasad. We turn to Govardhan.
The next to march in is the Mataji's Forum.
Srila Prabhupada, through example and precept, taught the vital principle of Vaishnava Seva as loving care of the devotees. Since women form a powerful force in society, regular meetings and discussions regarding various issues specific to the women are taken up in these meetings. Lifestyles of great celebrities like Kunti Maharani, Draupadi, etc. are discussed as role models, and how to adapt their example in today's day and age is practically discussed. Hare Krishna.
The next to march in is the Bhaktivedanta Hospital. A hospital seems to be just material activity. Srila Prabhupada in one letter says, our policy is Nirbandha Krishna Sambandha. We shall accept all kinds of civil activities including business, trade, industry only in connection with Krishna.
At Bhaktivedanta Hospital situated in Meera Road, Srila Prabhupada's mercy has manifested in a very wonderful way. It has become the shelter for many devotees who can now peacefully engage their skills in a Krishna consciousness work environment. Their work has thus connected into an offering of love for Srila Prabhupada's mission. During the last 2 years, several senior Prabhupada's disciples have expressed great satisfaction, appreciation of how it is a working model of unified Krishna conscious preaching effort integrated with professional medical expertise. Rivol!
And the next group is the Varishta Vaishnava Forum.
Another glorious example of Vaishnava care unfolding at Sri Sri Radha Gopinath Mandir is the unification and teammateship amongst the 50 plus senior Vaishnavas of the congregation. Being in the last phase of their lives, how to utilize the post-retirement years to develop gradual renunciation from the material world and yet remain occupied in constructive Krishna conscious activity suitable to their aging body is a priority issue. Avrishtiya Vaishnava Ganaki!
And the last to come, but not the least, are the very fabric of the Radha Gopinath Bhakta Samaj, the counselors.
Srila Prabhupada was keen that every sincere devotee in the movement who is surrendering his valuable life to Krishna receive personalized Vaishnava care. By the causeless mercy of Krishna, the counselor system has come to be a perfect operational system whereby every devotee in the congregation, no matter where he is taken care of in a very personalized way. The care, of course, is not just on spiritual matters, but also and day-to-day matters which are having a bearing to our Krishna consciousness lives. This counselor system has gained wide acceptances due to its success at the Sri Sri Radha Gopinath temple and the able, concentrated effort of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj.
So we describe this as a rainbow of various colors. Srila Prabhupada explains in one of his beautiful purports. The rainbow appears to be bowed, but there is no string seen. Similarly, Radhanath Maharaj is the string which keeps this bow bent in humility. All these groups which have come here are surviving with that service attitude. And it is not just an occasion of just beating your own chest or blowing your own trumpet, but this is we want to show everyone and also pray for more inspiration and mercy that In the years to come, this rainbow may not just be limited to only 9 colors, but will grow more and more ever if the string continues to hold it. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, the function is, I hate to say it, but over. And this is a final offering on behalf of all the devotees. Also, Sachinandan Maharaj would also like to offer his gift. So, everybody please keep quiet for 2 reminders. One announcement, one reminder. Saturday, day after tomorrow, National Sports Club of India, NSCI grounds, that is at Haji Ali.
Kalpatadubhyascha